Hi guys, Matt V's Movies back for another video, and today is a Matt's movie review. So I'm going to be reviewing the film Blue Beetle. Now AJ over at AJ's Movie Place kindly sent me the film Blue Beetle on Steelbook, and I've just done a video for that. So yeah, please go and check out my previous video on that one. And he asked me if I could do a review of the film. Didn't want anything for this steelbook, which was incredibly generous of him, but he did say he would appreciate me doing a review, and of course, yeah, of course I can. You know, it's the least I could do. So yeah, we're going to be doing a review of the film today on the channel.
15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Okay, so Blue Beetle came out in 2023, and in the UK it was certificate 12A. It ran for 2 hours and 7 minutes. Just to give you a brief summary of the film, Jamie Reese suddenly finds himself in possession of an ancient relic of alien biotechnology called the Scarab. When the Scarab chooses Jamie to be its symbiotic host, he is bestowed with an incredible suit of armour that is capable of extraordinary and unpredictable powers, forever changing his destiny as he becomes the superhero Blue Beetle. Okay, so I'm not going to read out the cast members' names because some of them are sort of quite complex names, so I'll just put some screenshots up here. I don't want to butcher people's names, but yeah, these are the cast members in the film. Okay, so on to my review of this film. Now, I went in with very low expectations with this one. Heard it hadn't done very well at the box office. It's not a character I was familiar with, to be honest. So yeah, going in with very low expectations. Okay, so yep, pop the film on. Now, from a visual point of view, this is fantastic in 4K. There's a lot of scenes in it with sort of neon colours. There's a skyline, sort of city skyline with all these sort of neon signs and things. So yeah, it's very vibrant, very colourful film. Obviously it's shot digitally, so it looks great from that point of view. And the suit, the Blue Beetle suit, obviously with a neon blue within the suit, it looks absolutely fantastic. As does the sort of the other guy who is sort of the evil guy, shall we say, in the red suit. That looks very vibrant as well. Sound again is fantastic. Now, I didn't actually watch this on my cinema setup, so I didn't actually experience the Atmos. I watched this on my 4K television with the sound bar, but even with that, the sound was, you know, really good. I can only imagine that it's a great mix on the Atmos. At some point I will get round to watching it on the big screen, but I just decided to just watch it on my 4K TV this time round. Okay, so yeah, this film pretty much follows the usual format you get. It's an origin story. They don't kind of explain too much about where the Beetle has come from. I would have liked a bit more of a backstory as to that, but it's the typical thing where the Blue Beetle connects with the host Jamie, and he becomes sort of the Blue Beetle with the suit and etc. So it's very much him sort of discovering his powers and and this kind of thing. Very much this film deals with family. It deals with a sort of Hispanic family, and I actually thought that worked really well in the film. Yeah, some of the characters were quite wacky. I know that the character of Rory, he seemed quite a sort of character in it, but I actually quite liked him. I thought he was, yeah, he was a bit zany and a bit wild, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought he was great fun in it. Um, but yeah, the typical format of this film is pretty much there's the arch nemesis played by Susan Sarandon. She did an okay job in it. I don't really think she sort of anyone could have played this part really. She didn't seem that sinister, maybe a little bit, but I don't necessarily know what her real motivations were. I guess it was to create sort of like an army of these sort of kind of symbiotic robots, which sort of humans would be sort of inside kind of thing. But yeah, she did a reasonable job in it. Um, Obviously, she had like the sort of henchman guy that was sort of he was kind of almost like the guinea pig, shall we say, for what she wanted to create these super soldiers. And I actually found that they kind of towards the end of the film, they actually kind of gave him a little bit more depth to his character, and there were some flashback scenes which I actually thought was done quite well. Um, it kind of showed you the sort of pain and emotion that he'd gone through in his childhood, and I thought they did it very well. Yeah, very much so. This film deals with family, and the main character of Jamie, you can see his strong connection to his family. I thought the grandmother was quite good actually, um, with the big gun, and she kind of like all the family are surprised when she knows what to do with this gun, and she's almost like a bit of a sort of sort of rebel sort of thing. She's obviously done this in the past. She kind of says to her family, "Yeah, I'll tell you about this at another time." Um, um, yeah, it was all over the top, very daft in a lot of places, but I have to say I quite enjoyed this film. Um, it was fun, and really, ultimately, that's what you're looking for with a sort of superhero movie. You kind of leave your brain at the door. Don't expect too much from it. Um, it's there's a lot of stuff in there which is sort of you kind of roll your eyes up a bit, but you know what? It's just entertainment. And I think sometimes we take some of these superhero movies a bit too seriously. This one was very much done just for fun. Um, I quite enjoyed Black Adam as well. I thought that had a fun element to it. The last couple of DC films, I haven't watched Shazam, Fury of the Gods. I have to say I wasn't a big fan of the Shazam character. The first film, I did watch it, but I didn't really connect with that character or the yeah, it just didn't really do much for me. So I haven't really seen that one. I've heard that wasn't great, but certainly Black Adam and the Blue Beetle I really enjoyed. So my observations of this really, it felt very much like a sort of a mashup between sort of Iron Man, the suit and the sort of voice with inside. In this one, you had a female voice, and very much sort of the heads up view. You could see what Jamie was looking at when he was in the suit, all the heads up displays and all this kind of thing. Yeah, it felt very much like a sort of Iron Man-esque, shall we say. But I will say that I felt there was a lot of Green Lantern stuff in there as well. The Ryan Reynolds film. A lot of when in that film, again, very daft, very over the top. But again, I enjoyed it, fun film. But a lot of the stuff where the sort of the weapons were sort of being created out of the hands. That was sort of featured in the Green Lantern film, and this sort of came across in the Blue Beetle film. Um, I kind of got that vibe from it. But yeah, I could see a lot of similarities to previous films that we've seen. As I say, sort of follows that very sort of familiar format of a comic book film. The ultimate sort of battle at the end, who wins and who loses. But I think this one did it in a little bit of a different way, because it kind of gave you sort of the motivations as to what was going on sort of within the people's sort of minds. Obviously with Jamie, the loss of his father, there was sort of scenes with that where he was kind of talking to him sort of, and yeah, obviously the sort of the bad guy in it, and sort of his um, sort of loss of his mother and all this kind of thing. So I actually thought they did quite a good job of showing a little bit more depth to the characters rather than just sort of one-dimensional sort of characterization that we often get in these sorts of films. So, in conclusion, would I recommend this film? Yes, I would actually. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this film. A lot of fun, not to be taken too seriously. If you just want something you can sort of sit down and enjoy, um, great visuals, great sound. Yeah, a very enjoyable film, to be honest. You know, I actually pleasantly surprised by this one. I didn't think it was going to be very good. Um, I think AJ did say he was sort of a bit disappointed with it. He found it very mediocre. I thought the family dynamics behind it were always very strong, and I liked that about it. I haven't seen that in sort of a film before. Um, so I quite like that aspect of it. So maybe going in with those very low expectations, I've enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So yeah, I would highly recommend Blue Beetle. So once again, thank you ever so much, AJ, for sending me this wonderful edition of Blue Beetle. Um, really, really nice. I really do like that design. Um, and yeah, I'm going to probably dive into the special features as well. Um, there is a mid-credit scene as well with, I guess it's kind of trying to set up a sequel, but I don't know whether this is going to be continuing into the new sort of reboot. There was talk of Blue Beetle going into the new sort of James Gunn sort of DC world, but I don't know, because this didn't do very well. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. There is an end credit scene which really, yeah, it wasn't anything sort of adds to the film at all. But there is an end credit scene as well. But yeah, really, really nice one. And if you do like this design, as I say, I know that it's available on Amazon Italy, and I do believe that Zavi are bringing this out next year um, for the UK. So yeah, obviously you'll get the UK slip with this, but and there's the other design of the film on the steelbook, which I know AJ has got, and that's available. That may be sold out, I'm not 100% sure, but you can find that on Amazon Italy as well. I'm sure sort of other Amazon's Germany and possibly France. But yeah, highly recommend Blue Beetle.